All right, guys, as you've been watching the video, you've been seeing a little time lapse of what Dusty's been doing on the Bell Life build here. As you can see, we've been installing the power flip windshield, which is really nice. We'll show you how that works. You know, just push a button, you don't have to do anything, it goes up. And this one, it go all the way up, get all that fresh air, or you can adjust it to stop wherever. So that's a really good feature. They had a flip windshield before they wasn't a big fan of, so they said they wanted to try the electric one. Works out really well. Dusty got the doors on. These are a huge upgrade over the factory doors. As you can see here, nice latch, done away with that red strap that everybody complains about. I mean, these doors are super nice. A good quality door made from aluminum. Shut good, and then again on the outside you got the latch, so super nice door. Dusty did get the tree bars on, and that's about as far as he's got. Like I said, guys, he's getting ready to start on the suspension components, and we'll have some more time-lapse video footage of that. It's a lot of CT stuff. We'll have some Turner axles going in as well, and just stay tuned and enjoy the time-lapse. All right, guys, Dusty got done with the back end of this X3 for the Bell Life crew. Go over some highlights of what we got done back here. We'll start with the springs. Factory springs on these models are not very good. They tend to sag out and lose some ride height. So we went on ahead and put the I-box springs on here and this nice silver powder coat. Going on down from there, we got the CT trailing arm. As you can see, this thing's massively built. I mean, they're not going to tear this thing up. I don't care how hard they try. Got our Turner axles in as well. And again, these things, they're not going to tear these up no matter how hard they try. And then finishing up the back end here, we got all 6 radius rods on from CT as well. As you can step in here, guys, we went a little extra further. You can see the little rubber boots on all the radius rods. What that helps to do is eliminate the mud and crud getting in there, and it really extends the life of that end of that joint, so it'll go, you know, twice as long as not putting the boot on there. So we put the boots on there for them guys so they'll have a lot less maintenance issues going forward. We still haven't gotten everything tightened down yet. We'll set the toe and everything on the back end and align it correctly when we get it down and get the weight on there. We do have the tires to go on still yet, so they're getting those mounted up hopefully later today. And then we'll come back and do another walk around on the front of the machine with all 4 tires mounted up with the rims that we had, you know, powder coated and done up for these guys. So stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the video on the front of the machine. All right, guys, Dusty's got the front end of the machine back together again, minus the bumper. We're going to do that a little later, but we want to go over some of the highlights of what we've installed and got this thing bulletproof now. We'll start here with the A-arms. We went with CT Works box like we talked about. So he's never going to have an issue there. They're high clearance, plenty of room. As you can also see, we did the spring swap on the front to the eye box as well. Going out to the hub, you'll see the Keller ball joints, uppers and lowers. Those are serviceable, greasable, and indestructible pretty much. I mean, they're tough, guys. They're not going to tear that up. Also, we got a Turner axle in there as well. Again, something indestructible. They're not going to tear that up. These are level 2 stock upgrades. So, I mean, the front end is really tough. Some other things you might not be able to see that's really going to be hard is bushings. We've done garage product bushings on these A-arms just because we've had good luck out of them. Really good company. We like their product and they hold up really well. Also, we've done a CT gusset kit in this. We'll see if Josh can get in down in there. Like I said again, guys, it's probably going to be a little hard to see just because it's all black on black. Come around to this side, Josh, and see if you can tuck in there. And with the gusset kit on there, guys, we went on ahead and put a stiffer bulkhead in front to go ahead and attach the bumper and stuff to. Like I said again, we're making this thing bulletproof. If it tears up, guys, it's not, you know, something simple. They've totaled the machine out. That's how strong this stuff is. It will be destroyed before they tear it up to where it won't go. Also, another thing we did do was the tie rods here with the bump steer ends on it. As you can see, those come from CT as well. So guys, they have the ultimate setup here for suspension wise, front and rear, with all the CT stuff, the garage product bushings, the iBox spring kit, and the Turner axles, and then the Keller ball joints. This thing's going to be a tank in the woods, but it's going to fly like a jet with the big turbo, and that's coming next. Stay tuned. Hi guys, this is Adam again, and we're talking about the Bell Life build here today. We've been working on the back end, hot and heavy, as you've seen from the time-lapse footage. I'll go over some of the highlights here. As you can see, we've got, well, I guess we'll work out in all the exhaust on here. This is the EVO exhaust with one of their matching tips here, which is like a diesel truck. Got to go with the shocker with the cutout here. It's all wired in, all run up to the front so you can cut it open to get that extra power. We're still waiting on the intercooler, but we just put the stock back in to sit here and idle, break in the cams, and go ahead and just let everything, make sure we don't have any leaks and get a little heat into it, because we did get into the motor, guys, on this kit. We had to put cams and head studs in, so with that, we got to let everything get a little heat in it. We got to break in the cams and get all that done properly so it'll create the most power and yet be reliable and not have any issues down the road. And we don't want any issues in this for the guys at the Bell Life. Also, you can see here, we've got the new aluminum plenum in here. and some silicone tubes with a blow-off valve. Along with that, we got the bigger injectors with the injector harness and the billet fuel rail. So we got all that from EVO as well as part of their kit. Super straightforward, really nice stuff. The injectors are for 1300 cc. Around front there, you can see the big turbo with the heat shield on it that comes from EVO. That way it keeps as much heat out of the inside as possible with that big a turbo. It sounds really good. You can hear it whistling out the exhaust pressly when you cut it open. And that's pretty much what we've had going on here at the back, guys. It's a tedious job. It's a labor intensive job, guys. If you take this on, don't think you're gonna knock it out in a night. It's not gonna happen. It's probably gonna take you the better part of a weekend, maybe 2 weekends, to really take your time, do it right, and not have any hiccups. So you can come around here and I'll show you some of the clutching stuff we've done. Obviously with this much power, we had to do a clutch kit. EVO supplied us the clutch kit. We went off their recommendations and they said the stock clutch kit would work fine. We did get their billet helix so we could adjust it as well. We've run that before on a couple different buggies. It's a really nice setup, especially when you're building this much power. Some other stuff we got on these. When you put the aluminum intake on, it does away with the little rubber boot. It bolts directly to it, and then we had to change map sensors. We got one here and then one on the intake. We had to change both those to a bigger setup because the ones they had they just won't read. They won't work correctly with this much air and pressure going into this machine. As far as air box goes, really no modifications there. Just short silicone tube that EVO provided. It goes from there to the turbo. Stock air filter works fine. We've never had an issue with the motor sucking dirt, out here on the East Coast. So we didn't change anything up there. We checked the coolant, we checked the fluid levels. Again, we check for leaks, guys. We run it, let it cool off, run it again, check for leaks. Like I said, we just don't want to send something out that's not really ready to go for the customer and run. We'll step up towards the front and I will show a little bit more stuff that you guys might have seen in the time lapse. Obviously, they got the doors and things. They opted for the map tuner with the billet mount and the ram mount as well. We got the tablet holder installed with the CB in behind it so they can communicate car to car. Also, the power flip window. I guess you guys already seen that one from the accessories. We did get their shifter installed here. That is a heel killer from B&M. Super nice. We put some custom grips on there for the guys. Going around front, I'll show you another important part of this kit is the fuel pump and fuel pressure regulator. Like I said, guys, this is a scary, tedious job here when you have to tap into your factory fuel pump and drill holes into it, and then you're tapping into some factory lines here to run over to the pressure regulator and then back to the tank for the excessive fuel that it doesn't run. A return line basically is what it is. So there's a lot involved in this, guys. Like I said, don't think you're going to do it in a weekend because it's a lot of work. And again, your best thoughts tell you not to drill into a fuel tank or drill into a fuel pump and change all that stuff around, but this kit lays it out. It's pretty straightforward. Not really. You can mess it up if you get in a hurry, but if you take your time, read the instructions, it'll work out just fine. And we didn't have any leaks up here. Throughout the whole machine, everything was really dry with no leaks. You will see here we have a maze of wires we haven't tucked in yet because we're still doing a little tuning. And this all come with the map tuner, and that way we can read belt temp, boost, and all that through the dash and through the map tuner. In case they want to take the map tuner out, we got it programmed in the dash as well on a 2020 model. So that's pretty cool setup. The guys will like that really well. And we got a little bit of tidying up, a little bit of cleanup to do, but guys, this is the home stretch here. And it's been a pleasure to put this kit on and work with the Bell Life and them take our advice and let us do what we need to do to make them have a badass buggy and ready to go. Hit the racetrack, hit the woods, hit the hills, hit anything they want to hit in this thing, it'll be up for it. Next time you guys see it, we'll be down on its wheels and tires, the rear bumper back on, the bed back on. It should be all detailed up and ready to go back to the Bell Life. What's up, guys? This is Adam from Adrenaline Cycles again, coming at you with a quick video from the London Dragway down here in our hometown. I've been talking with Justin at the Bell Life. We got his buggy all together. got it running pretty right. Our shop doesn't have the exact room we need to set up some of the clutching and the blow-off valve and a few other little things that we need to set up for this big turbo kit. So he agreed to let us bring it down here, do a couple hot laps on it on the Dragway, and get this thing tuned in so he can pick it up the next day or so. So stay tuned. We'll have some video shots of this thing making a couple laps, but just keep in mind we're mainly testing and tuning. It's not flat out what we can see what it can do today, but we did put some cheater slicks on the back, so this thing ought to be hooking. It should be a good time. So enjoy the video, guys, and as always, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with the cool stuff we got going on here.
I'd probably get 5 for it just cause. I'd get 5 for it, double my money off of it.
Alright guys, we got 2 laps under our belt. First one we didn't have enough RPM. It was only about 8,000, 8,100. According to EVO, it needs to be around 86, 8,700 when you're wide open throttle. Come back, second run, we adjusted the clutching, moved 2 notches up, and now we're about 9,000. So we got guys adjusting it back down here. We got the guys adjusting it back down here, so hopefully we can hit that sweet spot. They're going a little bit in the middle, and we'll see where we're at. We're going to adjust the blow-off valve a little bit as well. I think it's letting off a little too much boost, so we'll try it another run. Definitely strong. I mean, it's pulling the wheels the whole way, so it's got some power, especially with these tires on it. So stay tuned. We'll have the third run up, and hopefully we'll be dialed in, and then we'll try to run some of these other buggies and see what kind of time comparison on these kits.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alright guys, we're finishing up here for the night. We got this thing pretty well dialed in for the belt life. We're going to load up and get it back to the shop and get this thing cleaned up and ready for them to pick up.